Disney's California Adventure turns 22 years old today, but it looks a little different than when it first opened. So, to celebrate, I thought I would track not actually every single, change to the park from 2001 to now.
Soarin to tower. We are ready for takeoff.
Disney CEO Michael Eisner had a problem. While Walt Disney World in Florida had been continuing to grow larger and larger, just opening its 4th theme park, its California counterpart with Disneyland hadn't grown beyond its 1 park. Disney World had the benefit of size, with a land footprint the same size as San Francisco. But it only had that after Walt Disney realized how much he disliked being landlocked in Anaheim. Disneyland wasn't a sprawling resort. It was 1 theme park, 2 hotels, and a few parking lots. But even so, Eisner and his team could tell that they needed more. They needed a 2nd theme park. Animal Kingdom was too new to clone, and Magic Kingdom was off the table because Disneyland and Walt Disney World's Magic Kingdom were basically identical. They could try, however, to bring a version of Epcot to the West Coast in a proposal they called Westcott. Alternatively, Disney could expand to a 2nd campus that complements Disneyland in Long Beach with Disney Sea. Unfortunately, a lack of funds and the disastrous opening of Disneyland Paris meant that both of these plans would be cancelled, with Disney Sea being adapted into Tokyo Disney Sea in 2001. Keep that year in mind, it's important. With both concepts abandoned, they needed a new idea. And in brainstorming, they thought about the other things in the area people could do instead of staying at Disneyland. Maybe, they thought, they could put all of those other California landmarks into their park. Thus, Disney's California Adventure was born. 3 years, and a whole lot of budget cuts later, in 2001, the same year that Tokyo Disney Sea opened, the celebration of all California had to offer was finally opened. And it wasn't great. It wasn't terrible, but with the original Disneyland mere feet away, many people left disappointed. But Disney didn't want to admit that their new park was inferior, so they tried to fix it with a series of small changes that didn't work, until some big ones that kinda did. We're finally here. All the changes to Disney's California Adventure. Only 8 months after the park opened, Wolfgang Puck left his restaurant Avalon Cove, and the opening day theater show Steps in Time was abandoned. It would be replaced 1 month later in November with The Power of Blast, but would come as winemaker Robert Mondavi left his Seasons of the Vine. They revived the Main Street Electrical Parade in July, and cloned the MGM, now Hollywood, Studios attraction Who Wants to Be a Millionaire Play It in September. 2002 brought the closure of Superstar Limo and the shuttering of the nighttime holiday spectacular Luminaria in January, the opening of A Bug's Land in October, and the closure of the ABC soap opera Bistro that November. That summer, the main parade Eureka would end, and the defunct Avalon Cove would become the character dining of Ariel's Grotto in December. January of 2003 saw The Power of Blast replaced in the Hyperion Theater with Aladdin, a musical spectacular. And in April, California got its very own version of Disney World's Playhouse Disney live on stage. May of 2004 brought a cheaper version of the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror from Hollywood Studios, and the beginning of a new interactive show called Drawn to Life that I participated in when I was a kid. Look at that. But August of 2004 brought the end of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire Play It. July of 2005 meant the addition of the Animation Academy and Turtle Talk with Crush, but it also signaled the end of Drawn to Life in October. In January of 2006, 4 years after it closed, Superstar Limo was finally replaced with Mike and Sully to the rescue. And then came 2007, the year when everything would finally change. Michael Eisner was out as Disney CEO, not because of anything fancy, he just left. But his replacement, Robert Iger, took one look at Disney's California Adventure and decided to put some money into it. $1.1 billion worth of money, to be exact. In June 2008, Toy Story Midway Mania opened in Paradise Pier to rave reviews. And in October, Disney opened the Blue Sky Cellar to give guests a preview of the new changes coming their way. 2010's World of Color seemed promising, but no one was quite sure what to expect. And then came the construction walls. And they were up for a long time. But when they came down, things were different. In Paradise Pier, the Sun Wheel was transformed into Mickey's Fun Wheel. The Mail Burger was gone, and the Orange Stinger and California Screamin' had both gotten a facelift. Burger Invasion and Pizza Mau Mau, what is that name, became a courtyard of dining and greenery, and Mulholland Madness became Goofy's Sky School. Playhouse Disney became Disney Junior Live on Stage, The opening day Golden Dream show was gone, replaced with Ariel's Undersea Adventure, and the back of the park received a 12-acre land based on Radiator Springs from the smash hit movie Cars. With Mater's Junkyard Jamboree, Luigi's Flying Tires, and the e-ticket Radiator Springs Racers, the same layout as Test Track over in Epcot, Cars Land was an instant success. Perhaps the biggest difference, though, was the entrance. Instead of a classic postcard, you now find yourself in the Hollywood Studios, except this one has the Cathay Circle Theater instead of the Chinese Theater. And therein, California Adventure was saved, free from the ever-changing... What's that? I'm receiving word just now that things kept changing, actually. In 2014, Muppet Vision 3D closed to make way for the first time in forever, a Frozen sing-along celebration in 2015, a year where Luigi's Flying Tires also closed. In 2016, for the first time in forever, a Frozen sing-along celebration, the thing that forced Muppet Vision 3D to close, closed, a year after it opened. Frozen presents could still be found, though, in the Hyperion Theater, as Frozen, live at the Hyperion, took over for Aladdin, a musical spectacular. 2016 would also mark the very controversial change from Soarin' over California to Soarin' around the world, as well as the opening of Luigi's Rollickin' Roadsters to replace Luigi's Flying Tires. In 2017, Tower of Terror was replaced with Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout, and Disney Junior live on stage became Disney Junior Dance Party. In 2018, Paradise Pier became Pixar Pier. The attractions mostly stayed the same, but with a retheme to The Incredibles, Inside Out, Toy Story, or other assorted Pixar movies. And Mickey. Also in 2018 came the closure of A Bug's Life, followed by the closure of the Newsboys musical show that opened with California Adventure 2.0 in 2019. Additionally, the building that once housed for the first time in forever a Frozen sing-along celebration, and more importantly, Muppet Vision 3D, would be filled with Mickey's PhilharMagic. In 2020, the park closed indefinitely because of COVID-19, but it reopened in 2021, when guests could find that what used to be a Bug's Land was now Avengers Campus, a land that I cannot seem to get into.
Just my luck. Avengers Campus opens a week after I leave.
Okay, they're even playing the Avengers theme song over here, just to bother me. Come on! That's pretty rude.
It's fine. I didn't want to go anyway. I don't like Marvel movies, so it's fine.
Let me in! Let me in!
With all these changes, the only consistent thing in the history of this park has been inconsistency. But I think that's part of the charm of it all. Being able to compare this, and see how far this one park has come in 20 years, is a true testament to how much incredible work the Disney Imagineering team can do when they get to unleash their talents. Ironically, it's also a pretty strong reminder about what happens when you prioritize money over creativity. So yeah, the parks are in a little bit of a weird spot right now. Looking at you, Play Pavilion. But they're always in a little bit of a weird spot. Sometimes a brand new revitalization is just around the corner. All it takes is, well, $1.1 billion. So, happy 22nd birthday, Disney's California Adventure. Here's to 22 more. Until next time, be sure to gather all your carry-on items from the undersea compartment and exit to your right.